I need to tell someone what I did, and you are going to think I am awful. But there is something about keeping my ex on the hook that nobody understands. Everyone thinks he is the one who walked out while I was eating avocado toast, so he looks like the villain. The truth is, I am the one who ruined everything, and here is what really happened. If I do not tell this story, you will never understand why he left his key on the counter and took only the Xbox. Once you know what I know, you will see why I had no choice but to make sure he still had a reason to text me. I am going to tell you everything, including the fact that I read every message he sent from my best friend's couch that same afternoon. And the part that makes me look worst, I am saving that for the end because you need to understand how scared I was of being the girl who got left. It started with a photo, not even a spicy one, just him and his lab partner smiling over a robotics project. I posted it to my private story with the caption, "This could be us, but you are playing." 47 people saw it, and one of them sent it to him. He called me while I was in the nail salon and asked why I was acting psycho again. I laughed, told him it was a joke, then turned off my read receipts so he would sweat. Looking back, the signs were all there, but I was too busy counting likes to see I was lighting the fuse. The next weekend, he said he wanted to talk. I hate talks, so I scheduled brunch with the girls at the same time and told him I was booked. He said fine, we will do it after. I figured I would come home tipsy, cry a little, and he would fold, like always. While I was sipping my third mimosa, he was at our apartment packing boxes. I should have known something was wrong when he heart reacted to my story instead of replying, but I ignored it because the waiter was cute and the hash browns were perfect. When I walked in at 3, the place felt weirdly roomy. His desk was gone. The gaming chair that had lived by the window for 2 years left a dusty circle like a crop mark. On the kitchen counter sat my spare key and a note that said, "I hope the brunch was worth it." My first thought was how I would explain this to my mom, who already bought a save-the-date magnet. My second thought was that I had no proof he was actually gone, except the missing furniture, and maybe he was bluffing. I opened Instagram, started typing, then deleted it 3 times. Finally, I posted a black screen with the caption, "Some people talk, others just disappear." Got it. I needed him to see I was unbothered, the breezy girl who keeps moving. He watched that story at 3:17 and did not reply. By 4, I was shaking. I told myself I was just sugar crashing, but deep down I knew I was terrified of losing the upper hand I had held for 3 years. So I did what any self-respecting, slightly drunk girl would do. I opened our old chat and sent a thumbs up emoji to the last thing he said, which was, "Please respect my decision." Passive-aggressive? Sure. Effective? You tell me. He texted within 30 seconds asking what I wanted. I said, "Nothing, just cleaning up crumbs." He said, "Leave me alone, Mel." That was the first time he ever called me Mel instead of babe, and it landed like a slap. Everyone thinks social media ruined us, but the real problem started way before that. The truth is, I never believed he would actually leave. Every time I threatened to break up, he begged. Every time I posted a vague quote about knowing your worth, he brought flowers. I thought our cycle was romantic, a movie montage where the guy always runs through airport security at the end. What I did not realize was that he had already boarded the metaphorical plane and was taxiing down the runway while I was still doing safety announcements. Here is what I have not told you, and it changes everything. 2 months ago, I cheated. Not full on, but enough. It was a house party kiss with a junior who told me I was intimidatingly funny. I confessed the next morning in tears, and my ex forgave me faster than I expected. I shoved the guilt into a mental junk drawer and kept living, but part of me felt like I had handed him a loaded gun. From that day on, every tiny fight felt like countdown music. Instead of calming down, I doubled down on petty arguments to hide how scared I was that he would pull the trigger and walk away. The afternoon he moved out, I sat on my best friend's couch refreshing Find My. His dot stopped at a storage unit, then vanished. He had turned off location sharing. My stomach flipped, but I still posted a selfie with the caption, "Single and schooling." I wanted him to think I was already fielding new options. Privately, I scrolled through our photos like they were evidence in a trial where I was both victim and defendant. At 9:14, he texted, "Please stop posting about us. I am turning my phone off." I answered immediately, "I will post what I want," then pinned a playlist called Free to my profile. My phone stayed quiet. That silence was the loudest thing I had ever heard. By midnight, I was bargaining. I sent a voice memo. "I know I pushed you, but we can fix this." No check marks. I told myself he was asleep, but I knew he was wide awake, finally sticking to the boundary I had tested 100 times. The next morning, my group chat exploded. Someone spotted him carrying boxes into a basement studio across town. I typed, "Good, cheaper rent for him," then cried in the shower so my roommates wouldn't hear. The worst part, I still had the power to reach him, and I used it. I emailed his student account a long letter about how no one would ever love him like I did. The auto-reply said he was out of office. I had never felt so seen and dismissed at the same time. For 2 weeks, I cycled between radio silence and frantic breadcrumbs. I mailed him a taco sauce packet with a sticky note, "Remember our first date?" I showed up at the robotics lab pretending I needed to charge my laptop. I even posted a fake anniversary countdown to see if he would bite. Nothing worked, so I did the thing that makes me sound truly terrible. I messaged his big sister, claiming I might be pregnant. I wasn't, but I needed an excuse that felt too big to ignore. The sister left me on read. That read receipt was the moment I understood I had misused the emergency exit, and now the alarm would not stop ringing. You are probably thinking I am unhinged, and you are not wrong, but it gets worse. One night, I walked to his new place and sat on the steps like a stray cat waiting to be let in. When he came home, he looked at me the way you look at a mess you are done cleaning. He said, "Mel, why are you doing this?" I said, "Because you promised forever." He shook his head and told me forever expired when I treated him like a backup plan. I wanted to argue that real love fights, but for the first time, I heard how selfish that sounded. He went inside and closed the door. I counted the cracks in the sidewalk home, each one feeling like a miniature map of what I had broken. 3 months later, here is where things stand. He texts me maybe twice a week, short facts about the dog we adopted together. I answer in whole paragraphs sprinkled with inside jokes, trying to rebuild the bridge I burned. Some days he gives me a thumbs up, some days silence. People say I should block him and move on, but they don't know the real reason I keep the line open. It's not because I think we will get back together, though a tiny part of me hopes. It is because every message proves I still exist to him, and right now that feels like the only victory I have left. The truth I save for last, the truth that makes me look worst, is that a part of me liked the chase more than the relationship. The late-night negotiations, the making up, the high of being chosen again, it all made me feel like the star of my own show. I confused drama with passion and control with safety. Now the curtain is down, the audience is gone, and I am learning how ordinary it feels to be ignored by the one person whose attention once defined my days. Remember what I said about keeping him on the hook? The hook turned out to be in my own mouth, and every time I tug, it hurts a little less, but still reminds me I set the bait myself.